He walked up to our window and he goes, "This is my car and so is that one. Do some dumbass shit like that again and I will fuck you up."
Yep. And I think you just said, "I'm sorry."
I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry, sir."
Yeah.
And then he turned and went and got back in his car and drove away.
Yep.
Welcome to the Oh Yeah?
Oh Yeah?
Podcast. I'm Jake and I'm a Grass Daddy, and today I'm being joined by Trace Johnson. I was giving you the opportunity to introduce yourself, but that's okay.
You know.
I know you like to come on here and let me talk to myself, but I appreciate you coming on and filling in for, not really filling in for anyone in particular. Cam is
Out of town.
no longer with us on the pod currently is what I meant. I don't know what you guys thought I meant by that, but yeah, he's out of town. He's making the walk. He's going from South Africa all the way up through Africa, all the way across Russia, the longest road possible that you can walk.
And then he's going to swim to Australia.
I think if he has enough strength left in him, that was his plan. He was going to swim to Australia. I'm a little buzzed already. Just kidding. But yeah, I've got some things jotted down here. We were pre-gaming a little bit before this episode. We got them
A little bit.
We got the things we want to talk about on this one, and but before we do, as any good conversation goes, down better with a little. It's like,
oh, you scared? You scared?
So what do we got, huh?
Ooh, you like that?
Open it up. What do we
On
got?
the way.
Look, he's looking in there. He wants to see.
You want to go in there, Martin?
Couple silver silos.
Hell yeah.
These mountains are blue, baby. Oh.
There we go.
Yeah. Let me join you. Martin, you want to help me open this?
I'm scared you're going to knock over my beer.
Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. You want to know something really cool? I'm glad I made that reference.
Go for it. Talk in your mic. Did that make you spew?
Almost.
Okay.
I was just thinking the other day, it's been a while since we have had a good spit take. And it's usually, and not even just on the pod, it's usually in real life too. Whenever I see Cam just go to take a drink of something, I'm just waiting. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like Randy Orton waiting to do the... This is such a bad reference. I don't know. Basically, I like when Cam is about to take a drink of something, trying to get him to spew.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like what I used to do to you when we lived in the same duplex.
But yeah, we haven't had a good spit take in a while. We almost had one. And now I'm scared to drink this because I gave you the idea.
No.
So recently I saw a YouTube video that was talking about how... and this is my algorithm is now feeding me all these behind the scenes clips of Lord of the Rings, and I am not complaining about it one bit.
Right.
Jesus Christ, Trace. So what Peter Jackson did was he was toying with how he wanted to have the sound for the Uruk army in like the Battle of Helm's Deep, and leading up to it, when him and Wormtongue are standing out on that balcony and he like shows him the army or whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
So they were like, well, we could either record like 8 people making noises and then just like duplicate it in the audio, but then it wouldn't sound very good.
Right.
So what he did was he went to a New Zealand rugby match, and they had a bunch of microphones out there, and like on the Jumbotron, he like put the black speech of the Urukai for them to chant. And so the entire crowd was chanting
That's
like
awesome.
in black speech. So that's like real audio of a massive crowd of people doing it. And he was like having them stomping their feet and like pounding on their chests and stuff to get a bunch of real sound. And it was so crazy watching the YouTube video of the crowd chanting it because it was the same audio that I've heard from the movie.
Right.
So I'm like, oh my God. I've heard that audio a million times, and seeing the origin of it was pretty cool. And I'm sure all of you found it awesome as well. Or not.
I feel like there's a good fan base of Lord of the Rings that's mostly just made up of guys.
Yeah. I've met some girls.
I mean, me too. Yeah.
Period. But I've also met some girls that like the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
You know, Lord of the Rings and chill, as they say. But
I don't think anyone's ever said that.
I'm like, I'm going to show you a ring of power. But yeah, I feel like, and the people that like the Lord of the Rings, some people you can kind of assume like that guy probably likes Lord of the Rings, and then some people you're like, I don't know if that guy like. Because for the most part, if you're kind of a nerd, it's like a 100% chance you're going to like Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're like anyone else, they're either like, that shit's fucking gay. Or some people will surprise you and be like, oh, dude, those movies are fucking awesome.
Right.
I have a friend at work that hasn't seen them yet. And I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
And I think I might have scared him a little bit because I'm like, yeah, the third extended movie is like,
it's
4
like 4 hours. Yeah.
And he's like, I'm kind of scared to watch him because didn't you say that third one movie was like 4 hours? And all I said was, dude, you'll wish it was 5. And he's like, it's that good? And I'm like, it's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I can never decide when people haven't seen it to like have them watch the standard edition. Because I know when I watched it first, it was just the standard edition.
Right.
Which made the extended versions so much better because you're like, oh, I know what should be in the scene and what shouldn't be. So then you can just sit there and be like, that's extended.
I think to do it right, the best way to do it would be get someone hooked on Lord of the Rings Standard Edition. Because then you are gifting them the ability to then go back and watch the extended and be like, oh, it's like a new version of the movie that I get to watch and I get to enjoy all this new stuff in it. Because that's exactly what happened with me. It was so refreshing watching the extended versions because I was like, oh my God, I'm getting to see new Lord of the Rings scenes. Content that I haven't seen before.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of funny watching it too, being like, I can kind of see why they cut this out because it's not really important.
Yeah, some of them aren't, but then some of them are like, why wasn't that added?
Okay, so let's do this. Let's think of an example because I have an example of my head of one that was just like, yeah, I can see why they cut that out. And then you tell me one where it's like, why did they cut that? So the first one that comes to my mind is the scene where Merry and Pippin are drinking the tree water, and they're like arguing about they think they're growing. That whole scene is pointless. It's just them dicking around, essentially.
Yeah,
it holds no bearing to the storyline or weight to the movie whatsoever.
Right.
But can you think of one?
I want to say. And I just watched these recently, so I'm a little disappointed in myself that I just can't think of one right away. But the one that I'm thinking of that could just be regular is the same movie shortly after that with Saruman on the tower. And Legolas shoots.
Yeah.
Is that extended or is that canon? Yes. So that one definitely was like, that should have stayed in. And it's only like, like a minute long?
It might be a little longer than that. But the scene you're talking about, yes, because it literally shows them, and spoiler alerts, by the way.
Right.
If you haven't seen Lord of the Rings by now, you've had plenty of fucking chance. They've been out since like
early 2000s, mid 2000s.
But the scene you're talking about, they literally kill Saruman. So if you hadn't ever seen the extended, you would just assume he was still alive.
Just chilling in the tower. Yeah. It's like, I lost.
It's like, no, actually he gets killed.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? So, yeah, that is a good point.
But I wish they would have added, and I think I told you this last night, or maybe I just referenced his name, Tom Bombadil.
Oh, right.
Like, sure, that part in the book doesn't really add much to this main plot line. Oh, the main plot line, but shit, he's the most OP guy in all of Lord of the Rings.
I can think of a theory as to maybe why they wouldn't. And it's the same thing as like the Superman or the Captain Marvel problem. Mm-hmm. When you have a character that's like
that strong,
that OP,
yeah,
they can kind of just like steamroll over the enemy, and then it would make the movie shorter. Granted, in the book, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And also in the book, they make it sound like he's pretty passive. He's like, he's not on the good side or the bad side. He just cares for just
nature,
the existence of life, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So it also would kind of make sense why they left him out, because he probably would be like, I'm not going to war with you guys. Like, I'm going to stay here.
I'm going to stay here and smoke this tobacco.
Right. I'm just going to chill in my garden in my house. But, with my horse, Fatty Lumpkin, which we call Martin sometimes. But, yeah. I remember, like, watching the extended movies for the first time. I'm like, this is fucking sick.
Oh, yeah.
New content.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and the Mouth of Sauron at the Black Gate.
Oh, yeah, that's another one.
Not in the theatrical.
Yep. Yeah, and so, like, the first time I had ever seen him was in that, like, I think it's, like, I can't remember what it's called, but it's that Lord of the Rings game that I play.
Oh, sure. And you're like, what the fuck is Mouth of Sauron?
Yeah, and I had to, like, fight him in the first game, and I was just like, who are you?
Dude, I have Lord of the Rings Return of the King on GameCube.
That's a good one.
And I have not even opened it since I bought it, because my cousin who's in the military, or was in the military, well, he still is, but we played that as kids.
Yeah.
And I've kind of made a promise to myself that I'm going to wait to play it until we play it together, but
fair enough.
But it's not that big of a deal. I can still go back and play it with him, but we should play it sometime.
Oh, I agree. I think we did the same thing with that, like, Star Wars Battlefront-y Lord of the Rings themed game. I think you bought Conquest, yep. I think you bought it, and then you waited. You were like, I'm going to play this with Trace.
Yeah. For nostalgic purposes.
Right.
But yeah. And also I think they were going to have a scene where, like, the physical embodiment of Sauron, like, came out and was gonna fight Aragorn in front of the Black Gate, and then they're just like, maybe we won't do that, and they just, like, replaced it in post with, like, that giant troll thing.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but
well, I don't remember, like, it's been a while since I've read either the Harry Potter books or the Lord of the Rings books. Is that in the book? Like, does Sauron, like, an embodiment of Sauron, come out and fight? No. So they were just going to throw it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just read that, actually. There wasn't, from what I can remember, there actually wasn't that much in the book of the fight in front of the Black Gate.
It's just mostly.
It took me a while to read through it all. Because when I read kind of in chunks here and there. Mm-hmm. But it mainly focused on Frodo and Sam. It talked a lot about them being amongst, like, which is an extended scene in the movies. Yeah. Mm-hmm. When they go down the hill, they find that orc armor and they put it on, and then they're walking amongst all the other orcs.
Yep.
And then some guy's, like, notices something weird, and he's like, gonna go inspect it, and then they, like, pretend get in a fight.
Yeah. Which starts a fight between all the other orcs.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they're like, get to the gate, you maggots. But whatever. And that is talked about a lot. Them, like, getting to the mountain and then getting up the mountain, and then Gollum attacking them on the mountain. Mm-hmm. A lot of that was in the movie and also in the book. But we may have to test ourselves because, and we'll get to it, but you, Trace Johnson, have claimed that you can quote Harry Potter like no other.
Oh, boy.
So I may have to quiz you, but then I'm going to let you do it to me because I think Lord of the Rings. Do you think you could quote Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter better?
Probably Harry Potter.
See, and I think I could quote, well, both of them, but I definitely think I could quote Lord of the Rings like the back of my hand.
Mm-hmm.
So we may end up doing that later in the episode, but I do have some stuff I want to talk about. Just right off the top, what's your favorite country song?
Honestly,
do you actually have one?
I mean, I don't know if you would even consider it country. I think it is technically by music genre standard.
Sure.
But the Bar Song by Shabuzi.
Okay.
That one, I actually do like that one.
I would say that's like a...
It's like a pop country.
Pop country, yeah. That's
but
fair. It's pretty catchy.
I had never heard of this guy, and then all of a sudden there's just a hit single.
That's definitely kind of a one-hit wonder type of scenario, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think he has other music. I just
Really?
haven't listened to him because I'm like, country. What's
Why
yours?
don't you like country music? Can you think of a real reason why you don't?
I think why I don't like country music is that's pretty much all my parents would listen to when we'd get into a car for a long car ride, or because I mean, like, we would go up to my grandparents, which is 3 hours away, and so 3 hours of just straight nonstop country music.
So you just got tired of it as a kid,
Yeah.
and you're like, I'm over this shit.
Yeah, I think like shortly. I think when I was like 8 or 9, I was like, can I get a pair of headphones for Christmas?
I'm tired of listening to your guys' fucking...
Yeah.
Most kids like look back on their childhood and miss it, and you're just like, no, I'm just kidding. But like, yeah, I get you. I can't really think of like what my parents listened to when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I, for the longest time, also didn't like country music.
I remember. And then you had to
'Cause I was
turn to
with
the
you.
dark side.
I got a truck, and a shift happened in my brain.
It's like the truck curse.
It is. If you get a truck,
You're going to like
you're gonna like listening to country music.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if I know that for a fact, but there is a certain, and also I think hanging out with Cam too.
Yeah.
Because for a period, like a couple winters ago, I was just like, I am bought into this whole blue collar mindset, because we would cut trees down at work and then bring the wood home and drink beer and split it after work for like an hour or so. Like, maybe not every day, but like a couple days a week, we would be splitting wood and drinking beer after work. And I don't know. I came out as a country listener. I was like, you know what? I also feel like if you drive a Mustang, you can't listen to country music.
Actually,
It's sacrilege.
I feel like out of any American, what would you call that, muscle car or sport? I feel like out of any muscle car, the Mustang would be the one where it's like, I could listen to country music.
I don't know.
Because it's named after a horse.
Listening, I don't know. Well, sure, but you listen to country in a Mustang and someone's like, look at this fucking
pussy.
Look at this poser. Like, you're already listening to, I don't even know.
Yeah.
But like, you get a truck and it's like, it's almost expected.
Right.
So you roll down the window when you're at McDonald's and fucking Kenny Chesney's playing, and they might throw a couple extra fries in your bag. So like, this is a red-blooded American.
Right.
No, I don't. You're just gonna agree with whatever I say. You're like, no, I totally agree.
That makes sense. Like, give me the fries.
It doesn't feel. I don't feel fake. I don't like being like a fake person. And if I one day was to be like, I might try listening to country, and I'm like driving a Mustang around, people would be like, you're fake. But if I'm in a truck listening to country, they're like, yeah, that checks out. I don't know. Maybe I'm fucked up.
I mean, shoot.
I don't know.
Sometimes you like what you like.
Some days, as they say, some days that broccoli just starts tasting good. You ever heard that saying?
No, but it also got to the point where Jake and I would play GTA, and out of nowhere, he's just like, I'm gonna switch it to the country station.
Well, I did that to troll you.
And then I would immediately jump out the car, get in my car, and just follow him to the next location.
We'd be in a helicopter. Switch it. We wouldn't be talking. There'd be like a solid 30 seconds of silence that goes by, and I just flip to the country station.
I just jump out with my parachute.
And you just see Trace's character just get out of the helicopter.
No words either. It's not, oh, if you don't turn this off, I'm jumping
No
out.
warning.
I would just jump out.
No warning. Oh my God. Okay, so that went on for longer. That topic went on for longer than I thought it would.
Sorry.
No. I was expecting you to just be like, fuck you. And I'd be like, okay, moving on.
Good point.
I thought of this question today because you have a knack for trolling me.
I do.
And you and Corbin both share this same, I don't know what you would call it, but I just, when something bad or misfortunate happens to me, you both find so much joy and happiness in it. And my simple question is why?
And it's not just you. I think I just have this bad tendency to laugh
when bad things
happen to other people. Because, like,
why?
I don't know. Like, sometimes, because you're such a, like, happy-go-lucky guy. And then when something pisses you off, I just find it funny because you're not normally pissed off. The same thing went with Chase at work. Like, you know Chase.
Yeah.
He's just such a nice dude.
Pretty laid back.
But then when he would get mad, I couldn't help but to find it funny.
Okay, sure. Because it's kind of like, I don't know, seeing something out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to think of a specific example. But, like, if I fucking, like, tripped and fell, Corbin would just be, like, doubled over laughing. And I'm like...
Or I can think of one specific example that kind of pissed you off, but we were doing that 2K bracket where we were like, let's just put all the teams in a bracket and we'll flip for who gets what team.
Okay. I think I remember that.
And I was beating you as one team and you were losing as this team. Like, I don't remember what the teams were. And then at the end of the game, I think I just looked at you and I was like, man, I really wanted your team to win.
You were trying to get the pissed off to happen.
Yeah, I was trying to rile you up.
That's fine. I feel like that's pretty common for guys to do, is troll each other.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know what it is. With you, just, you love laughing at my misfortune. And I consider myself being not so much anymore, but like, especially like when Corbin and I were like roommates in college and coming up in high school, I considered myself so unlucky. Like the most unfortunate,
you would say that a lot.
The most unfortunate things would happen to me completely out of my control, and he found so much joy in it. And you're kind of similar in the fact that like it's mainly like video game related, I guess.
Usually.
It's never like, oh my God, like your fucking grandpa got cancer. That, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't be like, oh, you fool, your grandpa's got cancer, bro. That sucks.
It's never something like that. It's usually just like I bang my head on something and I don't know. You know what I mean? I have
to laugh. There was actually a real life incident where you were doing something and I laughed at you because it was misfortunate.
What was it?
Remember when we were taking my sister's dog to Pioneers Park?
For her senior picture. This is such a good story. You should tell the story.
And so on the way back, we were kind of finding it a little funny because this dog had floopy ears. I can't even remember what breed the dog was, but floopy ass ears. And so Jake's kind of like speeding a little bit.
This is when I had my Mustang and she was sticking her head out the window.
Yeah, she was sticking her head out the window. Jake's like kind of going maybe like 5 over to begin with. And then we turn onto South Street.
We noticed that she wasn't pulling her head in when I started speeding up.
Right.
So I was going to test it.
And so Jake floors it. And I think you were going like 60. You weren't going like, the speed limit was 40. So you're definitely over. You're going like 60, 65. and then a cop,
dude,
out of nowhere, we just see the lights
the worst
flip
fucking
on.
It was cheating where they were parked.
Oh,
they were
yeah.
like parked behind a sign, behind a tree, behind a bus, behind
Behind
a
a-
house,
yeah.
behind a business, in a parking lot. Like, there was no chance we would have seen them.
And I just see the lights flicker on, and I just couldn't help but to laugh because I'm just like, we didn't need to be doing this, but because it's Jake, I just had to laugh.
I think the funny part is because my face probably went like,
Yeah.
just utter joy and laughing my ass off, our asses off, to just fuck.
And then you had even said, you were like, and I just got a speeding ticket not that long ago. My dad's going to kill me. And I couldn't help but to laugh.
I definitely kept that one hidden.
Yeah.
I remember pulling over.
We were
And I was
literally
like-
a block
Yeah.
away from my house.
Yes. Yeah. Like a football field from your house. And I just remember being like, what am I going to tell them? I was trying to make the dog's ears flop. Because they'll usually go like, is there any reason you're going that fast? No.
Not a good one.
No. So I was like, Trace, will you hand me my registration and shit out of the glove box? And they came up to my window. I remember it was a chick cop. I was just looking straight forward, holding my shit. And they walk up to the window and they're like, is there any? And I just went like this.
Yep, you didn't give them any time to just ask you any question.
I just went,
you're like, yep.
I just handed them my shit and they're like, and they took it back. And they're like, yep, here's a ticket. That one was like $200.
Jesus.
The one before that, I don't know if I've told this story on the pod.
Okay. I don't know if
I don't
you've
know if I
even
have.
told me the full story. I just
Well, then I
remember you
will.
told me you got pulled over before, like prior to this event.
So when I got my Mustang, it was less than 24 hours after purchasing that son of a gun. I hadn't even parked it for the night yet. I was at Sarah's house, my ex, and I was driving back home to my parents. So I was getting on the section of I-80 past Rosa Parks,
Okay.
further up 77. I
So
was
kind of
getting-
by my parents' house.
Kind of, but like further past where I was getting on the exit off of 77 onto, well, I don't even know if it's 77 at that point, but I was getting onto I-80. There's a section of I-80 before I get back on the exit to get to my parents' house. And I'm coming down the exit and I'm like, time to open her up, see what she can do. And my foot is on the floor.
Oh, God.
And it's dark out. And I'm watching the needle go past 80, past 90, past 100, and it's still going.
Right.
And then out of the corner of my eye, I see a white car parked on the shoulder.
No.
And I immediately let off the gas and put on the brake. But they immediately got out and were chasing me down. And I pulled over, and they go, I got you going 112. Is there any reason? And like my little like white whatever when you buy a car is still in the back windshield.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Just
no,
purchased.
I just got it. They're like, is there any reason why you're doing this? And I was like, no, I just got it. I was just seeing what it could do. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I get it. Like, you just got the car or whatever, but he's like, but going 112 and a 65 and it's kind of slick out here, that's really dangerous. I'm lucky I didn't get, because
a court date or
dude, I'm pretty sure if you're going fast enough, you can get like attempted manslaughter.
Really?
Because technically, if you're going that fast, they can consider your car a weapon that you're knowingly, negligently
Pushing it
using.
to, yeah.
So I got speeding and I got reckless driving.
Yeah.
I didn't get, or no. Which one's? There's careless driving and there's reckless driving. Which one is worse? Because I got the not as bad one.
I think reckless driving is worse.
So I got careless driving.
Okay.
He gave me careless driving, and that ticket was $450, which I was going to just pay off and not tell my dad about.
Yep.
So one morning we were going to go to IHOP because Sarah was going to work on some schoolwork, like on her computer. And I got my ticket out and I like set it on the table because maybe I probably set it down because I was like going to go pee or something before we left. I don't know. But then I forgot it and we left. So I'm such a dumbass, and you can feel free to laugh at my misfortune here.
Okay.
I set it on the table for myself because I went to do something and I forgot. So when we came back, my dad had seen me setting it out in the open for all to see like an idiot. So he was sitting in his chair and I didn't think anything the wiser. So I just walked in and I was being all dumb. And I was like, "What's up?" My dad just goes, "So you got yourself a little speeding ticket?"
No.
And I was like, again, I went, and I was like, and he's like, "That's fucking ridiculous." And I was like, "You weren't supposed to see that."
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And then I disappeared into the basement.
Yep.
But I paid it. It sucked. $450 down the turlet.
Yep.
Probably a couple points off my license.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
He said, hello.
I don't know if you can see him on the...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You definitely can see him on there.
Little cock goblin.
How'd you know what I call him? But this leads us into another good topic of misfortunate vehicle stuff. I was thinking about this the other day, and I don't know what made this come to my mind, but do you remember when we were driving together, and it was right when I got my license? I had just turned 16.
Okay.
Picture this.
Picturing.
You were there, and I don't know if you'll remember.
Was I?
Oh yeah, you were in the car with me.
Okay.
Just say "oh" when you know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Oh.
Do you?
No.
We turned left onto O Street.
Oh, now I know.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
Did you remember, or do you remember what I'm talking about, this story?
If we're on like 66 in Westo, roughly.
No, not Westo.
Or not Westo, sorry. Regular up.
Yeah.
You nibbly. What are you doing?
So, now that we're on the same page, I'm going to tell this story to them. But I don't know what made me think of this the other day, and I forgot it for so long until just recently. But so Trace and I are in the car. Picture this. Trace and I are in the car. I had just gotten my license. Maybe not just gotten it, but I'm 16.
It was roughly after.
I am 16 years old.
I think it was the summer after. Yeah.
Okay, sure. So we're sophomores in high school. Well, going into our junior year. Mm-hmm. We turn left onto O Street. I don't remember where we were going, but I remember we had to get onto 48th or something like that.
Okay.
So I was like, oh shit, I need to be in the right lane. So there was a car in front of us and a car behind us. And I was like, oh shit, I need to get in the right lane. So I quickly got into the right lane, sort of cutting off the person behind us. Basically, I wove in between these two cars. There was a car behind me and a car in front of me. The car in front of us proceeds to slam on their brakes in the middle of the road.
Right.
There's no shoulder. It's just a street.
Yeah.
Proceeds to slam on his brakes, and we go, what the? And then we see a guy get out of his car.
Gets out.
And we're like, what? And you're right, it was summer because we had our window rolled down.
And I remember this car. It was a blue truck.
Was it?
Right in front of us. Yeah, because I think about that day sometimes. Like,
really?
Just randomly, and once you get to what you're going to say, I'll tell you, like, what I remember.
Okay. Well, do you want to say what you remember, and then I'll say what I remember?
This part, like, what I think back to comes after what you're talking about.
Okay. So, from my memory, a guy gets out of the car and just starts, like, just walking, stomping back towards our car. And we're like, what?
Like, what is going on?
At first, I think in my mind, I was like, I didn't know what to think.
I didn't either.
Because
there's no reason this guy should be getting out of his...
A car slams on its brakes in front of you and immediately gets out and comes walking up to you.
What else am I supposed to think?
He walks up to our window and he goes, "This is my car and so is that one. Do some dumbass shit like that again and I will fuck you up."
Yep. And I think you just said, "I'm sorry."
I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry, sir."
Yeah.
And then he turned and went and got back in his car and drove away.
Yep.
And what he was doing was, for the audio only people, he pointed at his truck, the car in front of us, and pointed at the car behind us. Because I think his wife or girlfriend was following him, and we like cut her off. And so we were able to witness a very unique, a very niche, if you will, moment in road rage where one experiences road rage for someone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because we cut off the person behind him.
Right.
And he got out and shoot our ass.
I don't get it. And so that's what I always will randomly think about, and I'll be like, what could we have said to this guy to just humble him?
Right. And in the moment, we were like, oh my God,
were scared.
We almost died.
Yeah.
But then as a little time passed, we both kind of relieved ourselves in the fact that we were like, dude, we're both 16 years old.
Minors.
He could not have physically assaulted us because he would have went to jail.
I was going to say, if he did, we would have gotten some lawsuit money.
Not that I was willing to just go
Take
ahead.
a beating. Yeah. Punch me in the face.
But of course, as anyone knows, when an argument occurs and then enough time goes by, you're like, man, you know what I should have said to him?
Yep.
That's kind of what Trace and I were going back and forth talking about. We were like, we should have just been like, you can't fucking touch us. We're fucking 16, idiot.
Right.
Or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Anything.
But I don't know what made me think of that recently, but I completely forgot about that little...
I think about that from time to time.
You do?
Yeah.
Really?
Occasionally it'll just pop in my head and I'll be like, we should have just said, what are you going to do? Fuck up some minors?
Right.
Right. No.
Yeah. Like, chill, buddy. We're both fucking 16.
Mm-hmm.
We did the right thing.
We did. We didn't escalate the situation.
Right. Because someone that is that unhinged
could have done anything.
And you don't want to find out.
Mm-hmm. For all we know, he could have had a gun.
I've heard stories about people that I just was listening to a podcast episode where they were talking about how they were at a gas station and some guy just peeled out of there in his in his vehicle, just skidded his tires and bolted out of the parking lot.
Yeah.
And the guy watching it went shook his head in disappointment, and the guy slammed on the brakes, threw it in reverse, backed up to him and went you got a fucking problem? And he's like, what? He's like, you acting like you know me, homie.
Oh, no.
And the guy's like, no, I don't. And then he flew out of there. And the same thing occurs where in the time you're so taken off guard, you're just like, I'm sorry. And then they leave.
Right.
And then you go, man, I was a bitch. I should have said something.
Right.
But you don't say something.
No.
Because, just like I said, if someone is crazy enough to get pissed off to the point of fighting over someone going, that's the kind of person that's willing to murder.
Yeah.
For an argument.
Mm-hmm.
Or
anything. Just to do it.
When you see those news stories, a person was shot at a gas station this morning. That's the scenario where that happens.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I think we did the right thing. But
we did, yeah.
But I wish I could go back in time and just be like, fuck you.
Fuck you, what are you gonna do? Go get you some McDonald's.
I'm like, you better hope I don't hop out this fucking Mazda.
Yeah, we were in the RAV4.
Were we in the Mazda?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Because I don't think I had that Ford Taurus yet. the champagne.
No,
Champagne-colored
we were
Taurus.
definitely in an SUV.
We were in the
so
Mazda?
It had to have been the Mazda.
I think we were like, you should have just looked at him and then just rolled your window. That's when he just goes,
Yeah.
probably, and punches the
yeah.
window out.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
You've seen those videos.
Yeah. But then, like, also, what is his girlfriend going to think, or wife, if he were to just punch a glass, pull you out the car, and she sees a 16-year-old getting beat by your husband or boyfriend?
You know what she's thinking? And
Man,
this
I
is,
love that, man.
No. You know what she's thinking? And this is going to sound horrible, but maybe it's true. Maybe he'll tire himself out and he won't do it to me.
That's true, too. That could be the case, for all we know.
She might be like, at least he's doing it to them.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know. What kind of guy does that?
I
Probably the same kind of, oh my God. Speaking of Casey's, this literally just happened the other day.
Okay.
Lena and I were at Casey's. Were we getting ready to leave on our trip? I think we were. We were literally getting ready to leave for our trip.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy comes in with his girlfriend, and he's like tatted up. He's got a chain on. I think he was a white guy. He might have been, I don't know. I think he was white. He might have been like Italian or something like that, you know, where it's
Okay.
kind of like they're white, but they don't look entirely white. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Look at. But he goes up and his girlfriend is just standing there straight, not saying a word at
Really?
the cash register. And he's going, and he's like saying the cigarettes he wants. And then he's like, actually, I want those. And then she like changes and he's like, actually, get me and then says something else. He's like, no, and then she like gets something else. He's like, actually, I want like he makes her change like 4 or 5 times.
Oh my gosh.
And then she finally gets them, and then they're getting ready to check out, and he's like saying some crazy story, and he's like F-bombing and just to the lady checking them out.
Okay.
Yeah, the clerk. And then eventually they leave, and she was like, I did not like that. And I was just
I
like,
bet.
I'm sure you didn't.
Yeah.
And then we didn't see her because we were standing behind them, but she was like, that girl was black and blue in the face.
Oof.
And I was like, well, do you have cameras outside where you could see like their license plate? And she was like, I don't know. And I looked up over like out the window, and the lady like walked out from behind the counter and looked out the front door and looked at their license plate and wrote it down.
Really?
Because it looked like a girl that had been,
Yeah.
hit or something like that. It was
Right.
crazy.
I mean, girls, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's part of you that wants to be like, no, fuck that guy. Like, he's clearly doing something to that girl. But the majority of you is probably like, I don't want to say anything or speak up, because if he's willing to beat her.
Well, what you do in that moment is you report it to the police.
Right.
And let them deal with it.
Don't say anything.
No. Don't say anything to that guy. Let him go. If you get their license plate,
All the better.
then the cops can go and find them and track them down and deal with it accordingly. And the sad reality of it is that woman cannot get help unless she wants it.
Yeah.
Because if she's like, no, it's okay, he doesn't hit me, and even if she's lying, they could be like, okay,
Well,
if you don't want help.
Yeah, I gotta take your word.
Which is really sad. But
Yeah.
on a lighter note, when I came home today from work, what I was going to tell you about the cats, I saw little Martin here sitting in the hallway by the bathroom door looking at it, and I'm like, why is the bathroom door closed? And I opened it, and Rue is sitting on the counter in the bathroom. So she locked herself in the bathroom today. I don't know how, dude. I swear, these fucking cats.
Well, on the topic of cat stories.
Should we look up our thing?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so...
Tell me your thing about Gizmo.
Okay.
Because I've been talking a lot this episode.
So, I used to have a cat when I lived at my parents' house, which was my brother's cat that he had in an apartment, but then he moved to a different place that didn't allow cats. So, we acquired her. And She was an outdoor cat / indoor, so during the day she would meow to go outside, so we'd let her out. At night, she'd be outside the window, wanting to come back. So there's one night I had let her in. I'd been playing video games.
Because she was an indoor-outdoor cat.
Yeah. And I was playing video games. I knew she was down in the basement because whenever she was there, she mostly just stayed in the basement because I'd shut the door.
Well, would you let her in and out of the window or just out
the front door? Out the front door or the back door. But anyway.
What time was this?
So I probably went to bed around 2 a.m. that night.
Okay.
Getting tired. Go to sleep.
You said you let her in?
I let her in, yep. And then I played video games in the basement. She was down there hanging out, playing, whatever. And so I go to bed, and I shit you not, like, once I fully fell asleep that night, I was awoken to some creepy fucking noises. Like, noises I've never heard before. And
inside the basement?
In the basement. And this was back when I was doing, like, my scary movie, kind of like I'd watch one just for fun.
Sure. Like by yourself?
By myself. Just for fun.
Okay.
And I'm hearing these noises.
What did it sound like? Like yowling from the cat?
Yeah. But, like, obviously it's, to me, in the middle of the night, it sounded demonic.
You're like, that's a demon.
I was like...
100% demon.
I was in my bed, and I shit you not, I was just laying there under the covers like... I don't want to investigate this noise because that's how...
What did it sound like? Please describe it. I know you're not a voiceover artist, but what did it sound like?
It was like...
Like a cat, like talking?
Yeah,
kinda?
but like consistent. Like there was no breaks in between.
What?
It was just kind of like a long
like, how is it
yodel.
not breathing?
Right. And I was just like... Every scary movie I watch, someone's like, let me go investigate this noise. And then they die.
They die.
And so I was like, well, fuck, it's been going on for 5 minutes straight. And so I was like, I gotta go investigate. And so it sounded like it was coming from underneath that, like, couch that was also a pull-out bed at the time. And I go up to the couch. I'm, like, putting my ear up next to it because I'm like, I don't want to go under there if it's not under there. And it wasn't. It was coming from the windowsill. And the curtains were closed because at night when you're trying to sleep down in that basement, that street light that's like right outside my house just shines right in there.
Sure.
So I open the curtains. Sure enough, Gizmo's there in the, like, on the inside of the windowsill. And I'm like, what? It was Gizmo making those noises.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you doing? And like
she saw something maybe?
Sure enough, I'm like looking outside and there's a cat just sitting. Like a gray and white cat just sitting on our front steps, just looking down at Gizmo.
Oh.
And so I kind of just pick Gizmo up and I kind of like knock on the window, like
Just
the glass, and then the cat went away. My heart was beating so fast, dude. It could have been a demon, but obviously it was just another cat outside.
Maybe a demon in cat form.
Could have been Skinwalker.
Lena. Rue does not like when other cats come to visit. If we leave the main door upstairs open and another cat comes up to the glass door and Rue sees them, she like attacks the cat through the door.
Like just slamming on the glass.
Yeah. And like screeching.
Right.
Like really loud. So Gizmo, as we said, was an indoor-outdoor cat.
Right.
And before the pod, we were talking about, because I was talking about, our mechanic at work was talking about how we should get a coarse cat to like scare the geese away or whatever. And in my mind, I was like, well, I wonder how far like a cat would venture, because like the golf course is an expansive place,
right,
with a lot of acres. So we were like, I wonder how far an indoor-outdoor cat would actually venture. Mm-hmm. Well, I looked up, how far do outdoor cats roam?
Okay.
On average, outdoor cats typically roam within a range of 40 to 200 meters from their home, while male cats generally venture further than females. However, the distance can vary greatly depending on factors like the cat's environment, whether they are neutered, and availability of food, with some cats potentially roaming up to a mile away from home.
Jeez.
Which, if a mile is on the far extreme end, that's not even really that far.
No.
40 to 200 meters is not far at all.
No.
That's like a football field. Well, 200 meters would be three football fields. 2, 4, 6. 100 feet. 2 football fields.
2 football fields.
How far would you venture if we let you outside?
5 feet.
I have a feeling he'd be like,
yeah, I was gonna say
he'd be so scared and run back. But yeah, I was thinking about the fact of like, if we had a cat, I don't think it would probably just hang out around the shop.
Right.
I don't think it would be like, I'm going to go look for geese today.
Right. And even like, to the extent, let's say this cat roams a mile, how big is your golf course? Like, I'm sure it might not be a full mile.
In a straight line, maybe.
So it's like, and what's to say? Because
like if it was weaving, because the golf course weaves around. Like if you follow the cart path,
right,
it's a lot further than if it just traveled straight through, like through all the houses in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Because of a combination of instincts and lifestyle, all cats, wild, domestic, semi-domesticated, indoor, outdoor, and indoor, outdoor, and indoor, outdoor are territorial. So if they have them in mind what their area is, they're going to kind of stick to their area. So I would imagine Gizmo probably didn't venture outside your neighborhood.
No, probably not.
So like you said, going over to Pioneers Park, that's why I was like, I wonder if she would go that far.
And maybe like you just researched, she probably didn't, but there were foxes in the neighborhood. Like,
sure.
Like just this
it is possible, yeah.
Just this last 4th of July, like I was just sitting outside my front yard of my parents' house, and just in the driveway, and I'm just watching the fireworks, waiting for Alyssa to get home to light off the fireworks, and shit you not, a fox just runs by me on the street, and I was like, oh,
sure.
I was like, that would make sense.
You're close enough to the edge of town, I feel like, where it wouldn't be hard for a fox to just roam in.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, we see foxes all the time. I just saw 2 deer.
Yeah.
Because the golf course is right on the edge of like the southwest edge of town. So,
and some people put GoPros on their
cats,
on their outside cat.
Yeah, those videos are kind of funny
because they're like, I wonder what my cat gets into when it's just roaming about. Same with how people put cameras inside their house just to keep an eye on their pets. Like, what do you do when I'm gone?
Dude, have you seen that video of this kid is like walking out of the kitchen of their house and he accidentally steps on the cat's tail and the cat like,
yep.
And then the other cat chases that kid down and is like clawing him.
Yeah, just fucking going to town.
And then the dog runs after the cat that's attacking the kid and chases it away. And it's like the most hectic, like 10 seconds of video.
Oh, it's not that long of a video.
I can't remember what reminded me of that the other day, but I thought that was fucking funny. So now that we've got a decent buzz going, or at least I do, since I've been laying off the sauce for a while.
Yeah, I was going to say. I don't know what you're talking about.
As any good conversation goes, and especially with us, Trace, I feel like we need to go back to our roots here and do what we do best when we're sitting down and bullshitting. And that is, let's come up with $1 million idea.
Okay.
I feel like whenever we're sitting around and we don't have much to talk about, we're always like, dude, what if, or picture this, or I've got this idea.
Okay.
To kick it off, to get our brains kind of moving a little bit. For an example, and I don't remember what day this was or where we were. I think it might have been at school, but we're like, let's come up with a zombie apocalypse plan.
I think that was in your basement, actually.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
So our zombie apocalypse plan was, we're going to stake out at my house, cut the stairs off.
Mm-hmm. You even wrote it all. Yeah, you drew it all out, and you were like, just let's erase this because this is where this would be, and then
I was like, well, we can sit upstairs and we'll have, in all of our imaginations, we have like military grade arsenal.
For some reason, we got it. I don't know.
Just ignore this, but we have a Browning 30 caliber gun at the top. And so we can mow down the zombies that I guess are in my house, but can't get to us because we're upstairs.
Yeah, the stairs is deleted.
But we'll have a tunnel with a ladder there's a hole drilled through from the top to the basement, so we can go in the top and the basement, but the main floor is off. Because in my mind, I'm like, they're going to be able to get into the main floor, but we can take the upstairs and the basement.
Right.
And they're like, and then we're like, and we can go out on the roof and just pick off zombies with our snipers. Again,
right.
We have military
somehow
grade snipers.
Yeah.
And you may be asking yourself, guys, well, how do you get food? And we're like, Simple. We have a pizza delivery driver come in a snowplow.
Yep.
That just mows through all the zombies in the street.
Slings us up some pizzas.
And takes a pizza slingshot and flings it up onto the roof. Bada bing. We got food.
For whatever reason, Pizza Hut's still open.
and we still have electricity and Wi-Fi.
Yep.
It's all accounted for, guys. I wrote it all out.
Yep. We were gonna play zombies while also killing zombies.
So that's not really $1 million idea, but this is the kind of things that Trace and I would come up with. I believe also our end game plan was that I would become rich.
Yeah.
I would just
in all of our fantasies.
I would just become a baseball player,
yep.
and you would just live with me.
Yeah. I would live in the pool house or something.
Yeah, and we were going to have a massive aquarium with sharks.
Yep.
And we were going to have foxes for pets.
Yep. Which that's actually doable nowadays. You can own a fox as a pet.
Right. Some might see that morally wrong, but Trace, you always have $1 million ideas.
Okay.
Now, we'll try to be politically correct here in our ideas, but do you have anything that's came to your mind lately? I know you're always stewing in the old noggin.
I mean, recently I've lost that imagination as I once spit it out.
That part of my brain is just gone.
It's just gone. It's molded away. I've got black mold in my brain. And don't know how it got there.
You almost got me, but the can is empty.
Damn it.
And this doesn't necessarily have to be an idea that makes us money. Well, I guess that doesn't make any sense if I'm saying it's $1 million.
It's $1 million idea, but it's worth nothing.
It's $1 million idea, but it doesn't need to make us any money. What I mean is just like a revolutionary, game-changing idea.
Okay.
I don't know.
I got one, actually.
Tell me.
And this might be piggybacking off of one of your previous episodes, but how about we get a cooking website that has no ads? It's just a website that gives you the instructions. It doesn't give long paragraphs of, this is what I would do in this circumstance.
This is great. This is great.
This is the ingredients.
What do we call it? No BS?
Just fucking cook. .org. We'll get it. We'll get it. Org.
Yeah. Just fucking cook.
Just
dot
fucking
gov.
Cook. .government.
.edu. Because we're educating you on how to cook.
But no, because when I heard you say that in your podcast, it immediately clicked in my brain. Where it's like I've looked up recipes multiple times, and I have to scroll for days.
Is it?
Yep. I have to like deep dive into one page, and I'm like, okay, it's not there. And I end up never finding it. So,
like, I think I might have been looking up like a chili recipe or something, and it was like you look up, picture this, you go on the internet, and you're like, I want to make chili, and you type in chili recipe, and you click on the first link, and what pops up? A paragraph that says, winter is the perfect time for cold weather.
Right.
And it's like, no, I don't care.
I know this. That's why I want to make this.
It's summer and I want chili. I don't give a fuck.
True, yeah.
I don't care what color your underwear is. I want to know how many fucking cans of beans to buy at the store. Jesus Christ.
Green, by the way.
So it's called Just Fucking Cook.
Just Fucking Cook.
It's a black and white website. Just like a no.
I don't know.
It's just white,
Black words,
with black letters, and it just at the top, maybe even slightly bigger letters. The title of the thing you're trying to cook: chili.
And the only image there is just a generic picture of what you're trying to make.
I want the pictures to be so generic they've even got like the watermark over.
Yes.
Because it's like a clip art.
Let's do it.
Bowl of chili. And so what we would have to do is we'll bite the bullet and scroll through all these godforsaken websites until the part where we finally somehow think we find the recipe, and then we'll
buy
just
a WordPress.
A WordPress.
We'll get the WordPress going.
It's like when Martin Luther translated the Bible from German he translated it into German so that people could read it.
Yeah.
We're going to go into these fucking websites and get the recipes and then stamp them, and then I don't know.
And then at the end of every recipe, it'll just say, "Now just fucking cook."
Now just fucking cook it.
That's all I want.
That's a great idea.
That's all I want, especially because I've been cooking a lot recently.
That is a $1 million idea. Actually, it can't be $1 million idea because we can't put ads on it.
Right. Like we said, it's $1 million idea, but worth literally nothing.
We're like,
we charge people.
How could we put this behind a paywall? They're like, dude, guys, there's this great new app called Just Fucking Cook that what they did was, it's a couple of guys having a couple beers that came up with this idea where, you know those websites that fucking you can't find the recipe? Well, they made it simple and they just put it right at the top and they didn't have any other bullshit.
Right.
The app is $5, but...
Or like maybe we...
Actually, it's a $5 monthly subscription. I got that wrong.
Maybe we join it with our other $1 million idea of selling cooking equipment, and there's just a link at the bottom of every cooking recipe that just has a page of cooking equipment.
There does need to be some sort of simplified version of all that bullshit.
Right. Oh, it like chili. Like you go down to the bottom, there's that link, you click on it, and it'll just take you to what you would need to then make the chili. Like
it'll pull up a link of me at the grocery store going red beans, and it's a 1 second clip, and I put it in the cart, and then there's the next link, and then I go the other beans, and then I put that in the cart.
Tomato.
1 pound of hamburger, and I put it in the cart. And then at the very end, it's me just going
good. Now just fucking cook.
Now fucking cook. It's a great idea.
It's a great idea. Do you have one off the top of your head?
Not really. I was counting on you doing it.
Oh, okay.
I could riff off of it.
Okay.
I was depending on you for the content for the episode.
A lawnmower that bales the grass as you go. Is that a thing already?
No.
Let's make it a thing.
Bales the grass?
It bales the I don't know how it would work logistically.
Well,
but the mower would preferably be in the front. And then the baler at the back.
Yeah, it'd be kind of complicated if the baler was in the front.
Yeah.
Fuck
it, let's do it.
Is this a push mower? Because that would be pretty heavy.
That would be. Nah.
It would have to be a riding mower with like a small baler on the back.
We just upscale to big ass farming equipment.
I think
and
the
it's
reason
just one big
those
machine.
Exist.
Oh,
giant balers are a thing, but for the sake of you're thinking, so like an average Joe could cut his lawn and sell the grass.
It'd be like a combine kind of thing where the front would be a mower and the back would just have this like slanted thing that just feeds into the baler,
right?
Without having a trailer hitch attached.
But what you're pitching is for the average American person mowing their lawn.
We would have we'd have smaller ones.
Because what I'm saying is hay balers do exist in real life.
Right, like individual balers,
giant,
yeah.
But they're for like big bales. If what we were trying to do is make it a market for individuals, I feel like it would be possible. It's just we would have to take what they did with the giant ones and just make it miniature.
Yeah, compress it.
The only issue I could see with that is just being the amount of time and engineering it would take to go into miniaturizing something like that would like outweigh the cost of how much you would make from selling the little amount of grass it would produce.
Well, hear me out.
I might sound like a hater.
Hear me out.
For shitting on that idea, but
all you middle-aged wives out there
Lena, listen up.
Who decorate for Halloween / Thanksgiving that like to put bales outside of your front yard.
Oh, yeah.
Make your husband buy this and then go have him
it called?
do it.
Bail that bitch.
Bail that bitch. Bail that bitch.
Bitch and Baylor.
BailThatBitch.com.
Lena, do you have any $1 million ideas?
Not that I'm willing to say on air.
Fuck, you're right.
What if someone takes them?
Someone's going to take. Trademark.
Yeah.
If I say trademark it, that's how it works.
This whole episode is trademarked.
Sponsored by BailThatBitch.com.
Yep. Babe, the $1 million idea we came up with was one of those cooking websites, but it has none of the fucking bullshit ads and like the paragraphs leading up to it where it's like, so you're retired.
Bet.
And
and you want to cook.
And you want to make muffins.
Yeah. None of that bullshit.
In 1942, muffins were invented.
Right.
Like, there's the amount of bullshit they put before those. And you can't
it's insane.
Well, and sometimes you'll skip way to the bottom.
Then you've gone too far.
And you've gone too far. And you're like, well, it's somewhere in here. I don't know where. I need a college degree to navigate this fucking website.
Like, it's almost like if it was a Word doc, it'd be a book. Like, you just keep scrolling, you see the pages keep going up.
And you're like doing Control F to like try to find keywords.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, it fucking says chili 16 times in this.
Ridiculous.
So, Bitch and Baylor.
Bitch and Baylor.
I could see maybe like if you're like semi like Lena's dad has like goats that would eat grass.
That would eat grass.
This would
be
a perfect little thing. It would just be about trying to even out the cost of it per the benefit of it.
Right.
Because I could see there being a lot of complications with all the moving parts.
Yeah.
And miniaturizing it. But we might have something.
Another $1 million idea that we'll gain no profit from.
Well,
maybe some profit.
Okay, so let's say we're going to take this to Shark Tank.
Right.
Let's do our pitch, okay?
Oh, yeah. I just show up and I'm like, buy this. Give me money.
We walk in, we're like, what's up, bitches?
Yep.
Have you ever wanted to bail?
I'm Trace Johnson. This is Jake Killam.
And I'm Jake Killam, and we're trying to pitch to you the Bitch and Baylor. Have you ever mowed your grass and thought, man, all of this grass is just going to waste?
Yep.
We're throwing it in the trash can and wheeling it down to the corner. How much money do you think I can make off of this? Well, I'm here to tell you,
Millions.
Not that much. But after years of saving up the money from the grass you would sell, you might net an even gain from the amount that you spent on the Bitch and Baylor. What we ask for is $3.2 million for a 1% share company.
Pretty much just trying to sell the company away.
We want $5,000 for a 99% share in the company. Let them have more than us. We're like, we really need this off the ground.
Please give us money.
For those reasons, I'm out. They're like, I live in LA and we don't have living grass. And for those reasons, I'm out.
I've got turf. I've got turf in my field.
I live in Arizona. My yard is rocks.
I was going to say, my yard is just sand. And beyond that, more sand.
And then that one bitch is like, would this work on like cactus? We're like, no, it's for grass.
Do you want it to work on cactus?
They're like, we leave and come back in. And we're like, introducing the cactus slicer. Have you ever accidentally bumped into a cactus and been like, ow?
That hurt.
Well, we're here to tell you.
We got the thing for you.
Which is
the cactus slicer.
The cactus slicer. Now, what this does is not only slice cactus, but also and I'll let my co-host take it from here.
You get the juice.
You get the
You
juice
get the
from
juice,
the
cactus juice.
Not a lot of people know this, but the cactus juice is very nutritious, right?
Correct.
It provides all sorts of health benefits, such as
Yes.
it does.
It does, in fact, do
It
stuff.
does, and you're definitely gonna want it.
You want it.
Plus, if you take the needles from the cactus and you're thinning on top, like I see you over there, you can, you know what I'm saying? Looks like real hair to me.
I got another idea, actually.
Okay. I was riffing there for a minute. I'm like,
Do you ever just go camping and you leave your food out? A bear, coyote, something gets into your food.
last week,
Now you have no food. So I introduced
no food.
the Is It Safeinator. It's like a meat thermometer, and you just poke it into any plant or mushroom, and if the light turns green, it's safe for consumption.
Oh.
If it turns yellow, it's good to have a good trip, if you know what I mean. If it turns red, don't eat it unless you want to die.
Dude.
Is it Safeinator?
Dude.
Is it safe, bitch?
This is actually kind of a sick idea. This is like
Trademark.
This is like on some sci-fi type shit.
Oh, God.
I feel like I've seen a fucking Adam Driver movie or something where he like takes a plant and like puts it in a little sensor and then it like beep.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Or maybe it could work on, like, you see a dead fish at the edge of the pond.
So
How
what
long
does it do?
has it been dead?
So what does it do? Does it calculate the bacteria level, or does it like calculate? Does it just take the entire like biological or whatever genetic makeup of what is in it, and it can decide, oh, it has a bunch of harmful toxins in it?
Right.
This is actually kind of a sick idea.
I don't know if the technology exists for something like this, but if it did,
We just
$1 million
trademarked
idea.
it.
We trademarked it, so go fuck yourself.
You can't take it.
You can't take it.
The Is It Safeinator?
Is it safe, bitch?
Is it safe, bitch?
It's called the Is It Safeinator,
Okay.
but our slogan is
Is it safe, bitch? Oh, that is $1 million idea. So there's a certain type of grass called poa that like invades.
Other grass.
Yeah, that invades on like our fairways and stuff.
Okay.
And it's a big problem, and there's not a lot of great ways to like just eradicate it.
Right.
And I was like, dude, it's called poa.
Can you tell the difference
Oh,
by
yeah.
looking at it? Yeah. Okay.
And I was like, dude, if I could come up with a chemical that worked and call it poa constrictor,
That would be
that
awesome.
would be the sickest thing
That would be
ever.
so cool.
Now, I'm not a chemist, nor do
either.
I know.
We'll just have to go find our local meth dealer.
Right. And be like, do you think you can figure this out?
Well, we would have to ask them, first of all, do you make your own meth? And if they say yes, we'll be like, you're the man we need.
What if they don't?
Then we just turn them away.
We just say, no, you're
No.
fucking...
You just sell it.
Then we take out our neuralizer and we're like... And we're like, your name is John. You have a family of 3. You like going to Husker games, and you need to lay off the beer a little bit.
Clean up your life.
Right.
Don't do
And
meth.
we're like, also, you're a big advocate for the bailinator, bail it bitch, and,
Bail
this,
it,
and
bitch.
this is a safeinator, and you're going to take this flyer around and show it to all your friends. And then we
And
hand
he's
them.
like, okay.
So we just start zapping people and making them sell our product for
Right.
us.
Why don't we just invent the neuralizer
We probably should invent the neuralizer
first? And then that way, when we go door to door asking if they want to buy the Bail It Bitch or Is It Safeinator,
They're like,
they
it
say
says no fucking soliciting, motherfucker. And we're like,
You want to buy it.
you're going to buy this. And then they walk away.
Write a check
Right.
for $350.
Right. How is that for the, which one is, what's that for? $350. What's that for?
The Is It Safeinator?
Yeah.
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 The Bail It Bitch, That might
probably
be
pushing 800.
800.
Is that what you were thinking about? 800?
869.
869.
88 for life.
869.88. Yep. I think that's going to do it, guys.
Yep.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know I did. I had a great time having you on, Trace.
I had a great time, too.
As always, I enjoyed my little silver can. And you guys know the drill. Spotify and Apple Podcasts for audio only. Go ahead and start just binge watching all our episodes. And if you've listened to them, go back and listen to them all again.
Might as well. 15%
Because I'll see
off.
if you did.
15% off Shank It Golf.
Dude, I don't...
Is that what it's called?
Cam runs the Shank It Golf thing.
Oh.
So basically what happened was Cam became an ambassador for it.
Okay.
And so you can get money if people go in it and use your code. I have no idea if we have made any money off it or if it's still a thing. But you know what? It's getting
Just in
ready
case.
it's getting ready to warm up.
It is.
And golf
70
season is
degrees
around the corner.
next week.
So if you are indeed in the need for golf attire, I think they've got some pretty funny shit. And if you're looking, I'm not saying buy anything, just go browse. And if you do find like a hat or a golf glove that you need,
99.9% off.
it is not that much.
Not that much.
I do believe it's still just code GRASS.
Code GRASS, 15% off.
And you get 50% off. It's better than
50.
no % off.
Yep.
So go ahead and do that. Subscribe on YouTube.
Yep.
If you're watching right now, that's a little Easter egg just for people watching.
I'm going to watch myself
The people
later.
listening don't know what I just did. They're going to have to go to YouTube and search this video. I'm going to start doing that.
Yep.
I'm going to start baiting the listener-only people into having to go to YouTube to see what I just did.
Right.
That is a $1 million idea. Also, follow us on TikTok.
Yep.
Because I don't know who our TikTok editor is. I've never met him.
Mm-hmm.
But he makes some pretty fucking funny TikToks.
Oh, yeah.
I know I enjoy them. So go ahead and go follow us on that. Again, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you all for watching. We didn't do our signature.
Yeah, we didn't.
There we go.
There we go.
Thank you all for watching. Until next time, don't be afraid to spitball around with your boys when you're getting
Correct.
together.
Yeah.
Because you never know when you're going to come up with $1 million idea.
And always check your lug nuts when you're tired.